If you were going to tell me that one of the best movies that I was going to see in 2022 was going to be the Weird Al biopic, I probably would have laughed at you. But here we are. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to Podio Commentary. And yes, this weekend you should be watching Weird the Al Yankovic Story. It is a biopic. It is not a real biopic. I feel like right off the bat, I should probably let you know that it's not a real biopic. It's a fake movie, but it is one of the best movies I've seen this year. It is so good. It's so good that it should not be allowed to exist in the format of which it currently is, which is, and I quote, free. It's a free movie to watch on Roku. They have ads, which is annoying, but then again, it is what it is. And if you aren't in the United States and you want to watch this movie, Weird Al himself kind of addressed that on Twitter today with a very based response to a question asked about whether or not the movie is available in Australia, in which he said, it's not. Roku's working on that, but there are things like VPNs, and there's also a torrent of information online about how to watch this movie legally. It's a very rare thing that the executive producer, the star of of this movie, because he's in it, tells you to pirate stuff. You gotta love it. You gotta give respect to Weird Al on that. He just wants people to see this movie, and by God, see this freaking movie. I mean, obviously, look, without going into too many spoilers, because I don't really want to do that, the story of the movie is not real, as I keep saying. But what's great about it is that it plays it like it's a Walk the Line. It's Elvis, it's Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody. It's an old music, The Doors, it's an old musical biopic where like the star is just like, as a child, is knocked down and berated and denigrated by his parents for wanting to be different. Why aren't you like me, boy? Why don't you want to work in the factory? You want to sing silly songs. I mean, he goes as far as, like, the dad, Toby Huss, goes as far as to like almost call his son, like a slur. It's kind of the vibe that they're going for here, especially when Tom Lennon shows up as the accordion seller, and then he just gets the shit beat out of him by the dad for selling an accordion, because they treat the accordion like it is the devil's music. Like they treat the accordion like it is, Jimi Hendrix guitar. And it's nothing but like Satanism, and it's nothing but terribleness. And like at even one point when Al is older, he ends up sneaking out with his friends and going to a polka party where he's like, I can't be here, man. Like, I can't be here, man. I'm going to be in so much trouble. And then like he plays the accordion in front of an audience for the first time, and he gets his confidence a little bit. And then the cops show up to the polka party and they arrest him for engaging in polka. In which case it has this very big dramatic scene where his accordion gets destroyed. And then from there, he goes off into the future, 1980s Los Angeles. Now it's Daniel Radcliffe. And then they kind of just like race their way through his stardom. And I get it, because the movie is short. It's like only an hour, 45 minutes and whatnot. And like, because in real life, he met Dr. Demento when he was a kid, and he gave Demento a tape with songs he had parodied. In this movie, Demento is at a bar in Los Angeles, and Al goes out there and plays I Love Rocky Road, and that's how Demento sees him. And then from there, Demento takes him to a party, and you've got like Wolfman Jack and Andy Warhol, I believe Salvador Dali, Alice Cooper, Gallagher, Pee Wee Herman. And these are all genuinely played by relatively big people. Conan O'Brien, Jack Black, Damon Desjardins, the guy from Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad, like all of these people popping up, all of these cameos. Even Lin-Manuel Miranda makes a cameo appearance in the movie. The whole thing is great, right? Because like there aren't really any moments where Al has any strife. Like he really just kind of keeps hitting it. It's like this meteoric rise to fame. And it's through what they call at one point the Yankovic bump, where he ends up getting the attention of Madonna, played by Evan Rachel Wood. And I normally don't like Evan Rachel Wood as an actress. I just never really have. She comes across to me as very wooden, but here she really, really dove into the Queen of Pop. She really dove into Madonna and played the role pretty sinisterly. You know, like you can see what her plans are and you can kind of see the destructive nature. She was basically the Yoko Ono to his Lennon, going as far as to even like come to a head when she gets kidnapped and then taken to South America to lure Weird Al to Pablo Escobar's birthday. And like, again, and very much what I could only describe as like what feels to me like a segment from the movie UHF, which heavily, I believe, inspired a lot of what went into this movie. And if you've never seen UHF, you're not a Weird Al fan if you've never seen UHF. You know UHF. It's quotable. It's infinitely quotable. It's one of the funniest goddamn movies that bombed famously. But there's a lot of it feels like it has a lot of DNA into this movie. And so as a result of that, Weird Al goes and, ends up stopping Pablo. And then Madonna does that. We can rule everything. I guess maybe I am spoiling a bit too much here. I apologize, but whatever. And that part is great, that Madonna ends up leaving the music industry to become the new Pablo Escobar. And then, of course, after Weird Al gets like, he falls off the horse, he ends up having a drinking problem. He's just like a total jackass. He has his coming to Jesus moment, ends up getting, reconnecting with his dad, who was an Amish man who had originally wrote the lyrics to Amish Paradise, in which case he performed it 10 years before he performed it in real life. By the way, I just want to point out there's a gag here because Weird Al is known for the parody stuff, but he wants to do original music. And he beats Michael Jackson to the punch for Eat It. And then Michael Jackson parodies him and he freaks out in this great performance by Daniel Radcliffe that is just hysterical. And I think it's very reminiscent or it's got to be a parody of how some musicians have responded to Weird Al covering their stuff. But I do think that the Yankovic bump could potentially be a real thing. I do. I really think that. And so this is great because at the end of the movie, he gets assassinated by a Colombian hitman who's got an M60 machine gun in the front row of the Grammys, as Madonna is the one who calls in the hit. And then the end credit scene plays it 100% straight. And then at the end, Madonna comes over to the grave and Al grabs her hand and starts coming out. And that's the end of the movie. And it's a great little ending of it. Again, I'm spoiling it. Screw it. But the idea that I love about this movie, what I really enjoy about this movie is it's farcical. It's nonsensical. It's just over the top. They shot the movie in 18 days and it had an $8 million budget. $8 million. This movie looks amazing for $8 million. It was well made for $8 million. It was well written and well produced. And the whole thing came together beautifully for only $8 million. That's what I don't get. This movie, I think would actually, if they released it theatrically, it could probably turn a bit of a profit. This is one I hope Roku does release on physical media because I want to own it. I need to own it. As a lifelong Weird Al fan, I even got to meet him back in 2006. Really, really nice guy. This movie was so good and so fun, and I can't wait to watch it again. And it's so not what you think, but it's totally worth your time. If you've seen Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, let me know down in the comments. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I want to know. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you again for watching Podio Commentary. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.